It's your daily dose of Donna. It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. I'm going to start all over so I can edit that later. It is February 18th, Tuesday. I am sorry I'm late. I'm sorry for the technical challenges. And the reasoning for that was because I was waiting for Blake Lively's amended complaint, as was many of you guys. The reason for that was because I was hoping that it was going to come out before I was live today, and it's not because it's sick with strep throat. The amended complaint is at urgent care with strep throat, COVID, and had to stop and do an SNL appearance, make some silly joke, do some appearance at the Voice. Had to go to a meeting at Scarlett Johansson's house, then had to stop at a Baha'i, religious meeting, then had to go and do a drop by at a wardrobe meeting, and then on its way to the courthouse had to stop by Taylor Swift's house and knock. No one opened the door. This is all alleged. This is just I read a blind item at Dumois. The alleged complaint is slowly making its way to the courthouse, but it just had a lot of stops. Apparently it's stopping at the mall also for a new pair of Louboutins. Okay. Also, I heard that it's getting a new wig, a new very, very intense wig, and maybe a new floral. I heard her amended complaint is not just going, it's not going to go just on regular paper. Regular paper is out. Her amended complaint goes on floral paper only. So they don't sell that at normal paper stores. Only on Etsy. So this is a whole production, okay? It's a production. She also had to stop at, I heard, I don't know, this is just from, Dumois Blinds, like I said, it had to stop at a sex shop. I know we don't talk about, she took an intimacy coordinator, this is not Blake. This is not Blake. This is just the complaint. Had to go to a sex shop with an intimacy coordinator and had to pass the clit test. It had to pass the clit test before it made its way to the court. So it's a long journey. It's a long journey. But it's going to get there. I feel at one point it will get there tonight. By 11:59 p.m. East Coast time, that amended complaint will be in. But good news for you guys. I am here. I'm at beck and call. I'm on call. We don't need a doctor. I am your doctor. I am on call for you. I told my husband, I said, you may have to be the dad on duty today. I do have to do some mom things today, so I'm crossing my fingers that this comes out today. If it does drop while we are live talking about all kinds of things, you tell me, and we're stopping what we're doing. We're stopping, dropping, and rolling into that complaint, okay? I got my snacks. I got my 6 beverages. I've got it all. We're getting into it. Okay, so we have so much to talk about, and not just Blake and Ryan stuff. For those of you, I'm getting so many DMs. Donna, I missed your show. When are you going to talk about things other than Blake and Ryan? Actually, I'm going to shout out my unhinged comment of the night last night, and it's from Holly. Holly, my unhinged comment last night was from my girl Holly, who said, Donna, you're going to have to take a step back from this case. It seems you're obsessed. And to that, I say, Holly, welcome to the show. I think I do get obsessed. It's called ADHD. It's called hyperfixation. Those of you that are here, you know hyperfixation. It was Craig. It was Craig. Craig is so. Yesterday, now it's Blake and Justin. I am hyperfixated because you know what? I've got a case to solve. And so do you. And Bryan Freedman also thanks us because that is my first story of the day. Bryan Freedman has told us that we are helping the case. Now, I don't seriously believe that I am doing this like I am on the job for Bryan Freedman. But I think the reason why we are all so obsessed, and by the way, I was actually sitting at my hair salon on Friday, Friday of last week, sitting there getting my hair done, and all of a sudden, a woman who I know, actually, I didn't realize she was getting her hair done right next to me, because when you're getting your hair done, you can't do the swivel because she's got the highlights in your hair. But all of a sudden, I hear Donna, and I look to my left, and it's my friend Nicole. Her son and my son Oliver were on, or maybe Dylan, I can't remember. It was a few years ago. We're on the same baseball team a few years ago. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, she and her husband have been following me online for this case." She's like, "I'm not into celebrity gossip so much, but this has taken us over." And I think there's a lot of people like this. This has taken over people that are not into celebrity gossip. Why? Because it's a bigger case than celebrity gossip. There's so many people that are not interested in celebrity gossip that have become so invested in this because I think it's relevant to a lot of people that have either been victims of harassment, victims of sexual harassment, victims of workplace harassment, victims of, them against the big dogs, maybe the boss versus the small man, et cetera, et cetera. David, thank you guys. David and Goliath type of situation. So that's why I think it is kind of one of those things. Plus, secretly, I think we're all very invested in that Hollywood, the Hollywood crumbling down of the walls, like exposing it for what it was. Now, a few years ago, and you guys know, a lot of you don't know that haven't been around for a long time, but I used to be a casting director for, kids TV. I used to work on Disney and Nickelodeon. And I remember when I think it was when I was still there. Yeah, when I was still there, there started to be a lot of arrests of agents and managers who were working alongside me, who I was in contact with all the time, who were getting arrested for really, really horrible activities with minors. And then there was, documentaries that were coming out about just awful behavior, stuff like Quiet on Set that just came out last year with Dan Schneider, et cetera. But it was predating that. It was called Casting. I can't remember the big documentary that came out, but it was about child stars, the Drew Barrymores of the world and the Corey Feldmans and the Corey Haims. And those stories were so just shocking and really gross. And it's part of the reason why I left that business, because I was around that. I wasn't partaking, God forbid, in any of it, but people that I worked with directly had been part of it. And it just felt gross. This kind of feels, it's not as obviously illegal and disgusting, but it feels a version of that. And there's something kind of, I don't know. It's kind of like it's karma. It feels almost like karma finally when you see bad people getting it's FAFO, right? It feels like karma when you see that bad people that do bad things finally get revealed. Yesterday, Bryan Freedman was on Billy Bush's podcast, which, by the way, Billy Bush really honestly struck gold yesterday when he had Bryan Freedman on his podcast. Because I have not listened to Billy Bush's show, but I think Billy Bush has a very specific connection to this case amongst many other cases like this, because he was someone that was heavily canceled in this industry. And unfairly so, I would say, connected to, the punishment does not meet the crime, in my opinion, for what Billy Bush got canceled for. I think he got canceled at the height of, cancel culture era. And it was during that time that it felt really, I'm not going to get into the story of Billy Bush. You can Google that and you can find that. But he has a podcast called Hot Mike's Podcast, where he basically, I think he was on, I can't remember if it was Access Hollywood or it was what show he was on. I want to say he was doing what Mario Lopez is doing now, because I want to say he was on that show. But he, anyway, has his own show now, which so many people have done now. Like, I know Megyn Kelly does her own thing now. Candace Owens, a lot of people who have been dropped end up on their own networks and own things. Multiple people do this. Chris Cuomo actually left CNN, but I don't I think he's hired by News Nation or one of those, right? I can't remember where he is. I don't want to get into all that. This is ADHD. Hi, welcome to the show. So Bryan Freedman was on Billy Bush's show yesterday. And when you guys were sending me messages, you got to find it, you got to find it, you got to go look. I ended up going and watching it. He only had 3,000 people live watching it, which I was really surprised. Because yesterday I had way more people watching my live show. So Billy Bush, Bryan Freedman, a live show, and they had less people. It ended up being a very, very popular show because I think once word spread. But I was so interested in watching it. He had a lot of really interesting points during the show. I'm not going to play you clips of it because I'm sure you guys can watch it for yourself. And by all means, please go watch it. There were some really good takeaways. And I follow someone on Twitter, Citizen Journalist. It's at cjournalist24 on Twitter, or on X, I should say, who posted some really good highlights from the interview, including how he thanks God for citizen journalists, basically, for people like us who are covering this case and saying that in the end, what Justin is going through is a gift to show how he can stand up against powerful people. He said maybe that this will turn out, and the gift that will happen is that people will stand up to those that will have more power, and they will say, I'm not just going to back down and go away. They will stand up and say, no matter what it takes, is that I'm correct that this person, this is not, this is all like effed up. Hold on. Basically, I wrote the quote on my Instagram, but it basically says that he feels like we are doing justice to delve into that something feels a little bit off. Something feels a little bit off. It doesn't feel like necessarily it's really true. And the actual quote says these people actually give someone a chance. They dig through things and they say to the public, hold on, this doesn't seem to be true. There are things that show up that don't appear to be true. And thank God, thank the universe for those people out there, because it's just one person helping another and we're all trying to get to the truth. And think about this. There's a few things helping Justin out right now during this trial, obviously. Money. He's got Steve Sarowitz and the billionaire backing him up with this lawsuit, because Justin himself, I don't think, is loaded. And this is the most financially, the most expensive undertaking ever. And then he also has TikTok and YouTube and people like us that are going through and saying, wait, hold up. This doesn't seem like really correct. Think about if this happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I would say 10 years ago, before TikTok. And I wonder how different it would be 10 years ago. I would say 10 years ago, he wouldn't have a chance. 10 years ago, would we even know so much about it, though? 10 years ago, it would be on the cover of People magazine, and we would read it once a week. We would read it in the weekly magazines. We would see it on, blogs, like probably Perez Hilton. Shout out for all of you guys that wanted to create major drama yesterday. Even though I did talk about Perez, there's no major drama. We don't need to create something bigger than it is. You would see it on the big blogs. I forget what other big gossip blogs there were 10 years ago. And that would be it. But we wouldn't be able to really dive deep into like personal interviews and break them apart and go through and like find it and really dedicate our time. I wonder what it would be different like 10 years ago, before the ability to have social media and to really be able to have a voice, everyone have a voice. Because I am just like you guys. Any one of us can do that. Any one of us. So it's really interesting how much citizens can change the path of legal cases. And is that fair? Is it not fair? It can go both ways, right? For Blake and Ryan, I'm sure they're flipping out, freaking out. I'm sure for Leslie Sloan, Blake, and Ryan, for that camp, they're like, this is awful. But I'm sure they can also use this for their benefit as well by saying, look how unfair this is. So we'll have to see. A lot of you think that Depp versus Heard changed this as well. because that religion, oh my God, that case really changed the course of letting people in on it. We were in the courtroom. We watched every day. I didn't cover it at all because my show wasn't even on the air at the time, but I remember House and Habit. That was my go-to during Depp vs. Heard. I'm sure so many of you guys did that as well. Or I know Emily D. Baker covered that case. And then, there's other cases, but that was like one of the more recent Hollywood case. Of course, there was like the O.J. Simpson, but during O.J. Simpson and that case, we weren't on social media. There was none of that. We were just watching it on Fox 11 every night or every day, So, and also with the O.J. case, and I mean, I wonder how that would have been now. But I wonder seriously how many people would have sat here and argued back and forth. Like if OJ case was on right now, or if we were going through the process with OJ, do you think there would have been a serious debating on threads? Do you think there would have been a team OJ and team Nicole? That I'm dying to know. I really seriously want to know. Do you think that we'd have like some big team OJ? Because I don't remember. So OJ happened in 1992 or 94. I want to say 92 because I was born in 81. So I think I was like 11, 12. And I went to school in Beverly Hills. I never lived in Beverly Hills, but I went to school in Beverly Hills. I went to Beverly Hills High School, but I was in elementary school at the time. So I remember being like very close to the area. 1994. Well, did the actual murder happen in 94? Okay, so the question is, what would happen on Threads or on Twitter? Would there be like a team OJ? Like, would there be arguing back and forth? When it was during the trial of OJ, all I remember is people outside of the trial when I watch footage. I just remember there was like a huge celebration of people being, not celebration, a huge devastation when he was innocent. It was like devastation. Were people celebrating his innocence? Interesting. I would love to like go back and see how that would have been. All right, let's go back into more. So Bryan Freedman also talks about that SNL appearance. And he said something along the lines of, wow, I mean, it's everything you and I probably thought too, which was, I'm kind of surprised. I've never, ever heard anyone make a joke. Kind of, he said, I was surprised by the couple's latest move. I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and who has made jokes about that type of situation, he said. I can't think of anyone who's done anything like that. So it surprised me. Obviously, you guys, he's his attorney. Anything he says is going to be used to, be on Justin's side. But I think we all agreed with that. The only person that does not agree with that is Bethenny. So let's talk about that. What is your reason to remember yes, you guys are right. Thank you so much. I'm so interested. You guys have some really, really good points about the OJ trial. If you guys are watching this later, go and watch the live chat. Everyone is so smart in the live chat. What do you guys think about Bethenny's take here? So the reason why I bring this up is because Bethenny, love her or hate her, and I've gone through my roller coaster with Bethenny Frankel. But her finger's been very much on the pulse for me in the last year or so. And I've really enjoyed her commentary. And she has had a really, really smart take on this Blake and Ryan thing up until the SNL. And I was talking to my friend this morning about it, and she said, what I think is what happened is the other day she mentioned that someone on one of their teams reached out to her. And I have a feeling that someone on Ryan and Blake's team reached out to her. And she then is now starting to speak out a little bit to try to kind of win the public's favor over for Ryan and Blake. She said the day after SNL, she said, I think it was a genius move. The only way to fight through bad media attention is to fight through it. Then she doubled down and said, I think it was a genius move for SNL and it was smart for Blake and Ryan. I said, yeah, genius move for SNL. hard disagree on a genius move for Blake and Ryan. And I have yet to see one piece of media that think it was a good move for Blake and Ryan. Like, not one. Plus, I think it could be used against them in some capacity later in a courtroom when they say, well, how much could it have devastated them if they're making jokes about it? But then Bethenny even, and I'll just pull up because Citizen Journalist, who I just spoke about, just mentioned it on her Twitter account. She posted Bethenny's take on Blake and Ryan, and I'll just pull it up for you guys and I'll let you watch it. She triples down on her take. So this is from Twitter, but it's Bethenny's TikTok take. Everyone is saying, who is Bethenny? She would freak out if you guys didn't know who Bethenny Frankel is. Bethenny Frankel is a former housewife of New York, but she is also an incredibly smart, successful, like, she owns a lot of companies and she has a very, very large following and she speaks on everything. She never stops talking, which is kind of why I like her. But this is her take on, if I make it bigger, can you see it? Yes. This is her take, her triple down that she posted today on why she thinks it was a good take on why they went to SNL.
I do not think that they are trying to play to the court of public opinion. It won't hurt them in their case. It's years after the film was shot. So the judge isn't going to be like, oh, you went out to something within your industry. And the reason that they're going out within their industry is not because they're trying to get you to like them. That's never going to happen. That's a sunk cost. That is already done. You're not turning. You guys don't like them, period. They know that. They're there because that's the core of their industry. In that room is like being at the Met Gala, the Vanity Fair party. That room is where decisions get made, roles get booked, relevance is sustained. And they want to look at their peers and be like, we're still here. That's just them. That's just the people. Because you guys also dragged Jennifer Lopez to infinity. And what did she do? She looked hot. She got dressed up. She went out. She pushed through. And there are two people that I can think of that you know of that you guys have also gone after hard on here. And I have personally given them the advice, push through, just push through. There's another actor that said to me that they thought that they were getting canceled and what do? And I said to them, I told them exactly what to do. So I'm just going to tell you that they went into that room because this week, Ari Emanuel, the one who the Entourage Ari was based after, he's one of the top 5 most powerful people in entertainment. And he stood out and said, I'm Team Blake and Ryan. To them, that says, oh, okay, we're still here and we're not going anywhere. It may not be entirely true, but they are in that room to solidify their status in Hollywood, not to make people on TikTok and Instagram like them.
So that's an interesting take. The one thing that I can take from that is that she's forgetting that at the end of the day, yes, Hollywood can like them and all of that, but who ultimately pays their payments is the public. And the public needs to like a person to keep them making money at the box office. And if we really, when I say we, it's not me, it's all of us as a collective, really needs to continue to support their products. For example, Aviation Gin, all of his films, etc. And the question is, how much does this really, and will this really hurt Ryan Reynolds? Blake Lively, I think, is done. Truly, in my heart, I don't think anyone will continue to support Blake Lively because Blake Lively's audience is women. Ryan Reynolds, guys, I'm going to break it to you. I don't think it's hit mass male population yet. I don't. And I don't honestly believe that it's done what we think it's done. And I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I posted on my Instagram about how I posted and I wonder if it would come up if I just showed you this post. On my Instagram, I posted this like carousel about how they went. Remember this like awkward thing, and then I posted, the pictures of Scarlett Johansson, etc. And I had so many people, so many comments, right? But this comment, okay, it's right here. This comment right here, it's from my friend Blake. And I know Blake because he is a writer, a comedy writer. I met him on, he was a writer's assistant on a Jerry Bruckheimer show that I cast. Actually, oh my gosh. It was a Jerry Bruckheimer, Marsh McCall show that we cast Blake Lively's brother on. Dying. Oh my God. Blake Lively's brother, Eric, was cast on it alongside Max Greenfield. If you guys know Max from New Girl, it was 3 guys. It was Eric Lively, Max Greenfield, and Josh Broughton were the 3 stars. And the girl who was on it was Marla Sokoloff, who was Gia on Full House. Anyway, Blake was in the writer's room. Love him. He's a dear, we follow each other on social. We comment. Very nice guy. He's local here in LA. And he responds, straight guy. He's straight, married, kids. He says, they were invited guests. This isn't Kanye crashing the red carpet. What am I missing here? This is a guy that follows me. He sees everything I post and he writes that. And I respond, I go, it was, where's my comment? I go, Blake, have you not been following the saga? And he goes, I'm following you, aren't I? I know what's going on, but they were invited guests and invited to participate in the sketch. And I said, it was a PR choice. And then look, Callie writes, who would actually turn down the invite? They're just living their lives. People are going so overboard with all of it. So that right there shows me that people will very much continue to live their lives and not be affected. I guarantee you right here, right now, no matter what happens, Blake's career may be over, but Ryan Reynolds will absolutely no way ever have his career ended by this. No matter what. I hate to say it out loud, but I don't think it will be over. It's a sad reality because I think he is. The only way that it could potentially possibly be over is if we find out that he was very aware that it was all a lie and did something horrible and it gets discovered that he knew this was all a lie and went through with it all and it all gets discovered. But my guess is that Blake told him something and he believed it. That's what I believe. Look who's in the chat. My friend Dave. Dave, howdy. Where's that amended complaint? Dave, I already told you. It has strep throat. Out sick. It has strep throat. But that's just that's the unfortunate reality of Hollywood. It's kind of a bummer, but I think that's true. Do I agree with Bethenny that this was the right move for them? I don't know. I don't know if this was the right move, but Hollywood be Hollywooding. Get it some Robitussin. We need the tea. Get it some tea so we can get the tea. The complaint is like the Olympic torch. No, it's like watching paint dry. We're all watching paint dry, so it will never happen. Oh my gosh. So that's how I feel about that. We do have a People magazine article that has just come out, and it's talking about Blake Lively. This is the thing, now is the time where the PR is PRing people. Blake Lively knows it will be a long year with Justin Baldoni lawsuit. It says this is how she's just going to get through it. It is this is what we're going to have to kind of expect now that this is what's happening. Okay, Blake Lively knows it will be a long year with Justin Baldoni lawsuit. This is how she's getting through it, you guys, by going to SNL. I mean, what are you guys doing to get through your tough times? I go to SNL. She's trying to stay positive, you guys. She's just trying to focus on the good things. Look, a lot of people also, a lot of the, Team Blake people are like, what do you expect? She shouldn't just sit at home. She shouldn't stay home. She has to live her life. I absolutely agree. I have zero issue with her living her life. You guys, there is no reason that she or Justin should not be living their lives. Go live your life. Justin is living in Hawaii right now. He's not on vacation. He's living in Hawaii. Live your life. Go live your life. But this was more than living your life. This was flaunting your life in a very public way, and not only just going to SNL, but it was going to SNL, speaking at SNL, being part of the show, and then making a joke about it. So it's not just going, it's talking and then joking about the situation. Many people were speaking, many people were part of skits, had nothing to do with their personal crisis. Like, a lot of people on that stage currently are going through crises. Kim Kardashian's ex-husband and baby daddy, is arguably the most spoken about person right now in the news. Hello, Kanye? Are you kidding me? Kim Kardashian was in that show, and Kanye, her baby daddy, is the Nazi of the world. And she found a way not to talk about it. So why in the world did Ryan Reynolds need to squeeze that in? Did you get it? Like, why? That's what I'm saying. It's the narcissism of it. So it continues to say Blake felt a little bit anxious about attending the anniversary. She still thought it was the perfect opportunity to that's an ease back into the spotlight. They had many friends attending. As soon as they arrived, they received a warm welcome. It was a great event. Let me ask you a serious question. Do you think that they received a warm welcome? Just curious. Warm? I'm just wondering. So he participated. We know. Blake wouldn't mind staying out of the spotlight for longer, but she has to get back to work with Anna Kendrick soon anyway. She feels more ready now. She knows it will be a long year with continued drama, but she's trying to focus on the good things. Her family is everything to her. They had a great time, et cetera, et cetera. Now, Paul Feig, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, also posted, speaking of, that he was there with her and Blake and Ryan as the date, as his date. But they weren't in any pictures together, which I found very interesting. He just felt the need to name drop. But what's so weird is that if you go with someone as your date, wouldn't you sit next to them? So he posted this great, cool picture of him and amazing Paul McCartney. By the way, 82 years old, you guys. 82 years old. Isn't that cool? 82. And he says, I normally don't post these pictures, but I mean, come on. It's Paul effing McCartney. I had the best time at the SNL 50th. Eternal thanks to, who's Sig 41? Steve Higgins. I don't know who that is, but this is the picture you post and you cut off your head. Interesting. Eternal thanks to Sig 41 for getting me in, and to Blake Lively and Van City Reynolds for being my dates. But there's no picture of him with them. And if you go back to any of the videos, they're not even sitting together. So that's a weird choice. He's got to sell that movie, man. He's got to sell that movie. I got a super chat here. Let's look at it. Oh, I got a few. Let me go back. Hi, Jacqueline. Blake and Ryan were essentially telling us it doesn't matter what we do or who we hurt or what you think. We are powerful. We aren't going anywhere. This is about power, not morality. Yeah. They were putting it right in our faces. They were like, we don't give a... But that's what Bethenny was saying. They already know they lost to the court of public opinion. They don't care about you guys. They just want to win in Hollywood. That's all they care about. So they're telling us, and now we just have to listen. I hope they can sleep at night. Thank you, Melanie, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. And from Chloe, legally not a got move because not a great move, maybe, because Justin's lawyers can now claim they're making light and joking at abuse. Exactly. I mean, I don't think anyone would say this was a great move. Okay. And then finally, I do have to show you this one thing. I'm sure you guys have all seen this on stories and on TikTok because it went viral, but this is so funny. This one video that went viral about Clifford the big red dog. Someone posted this in my Instagram. Someone tagged me, and oh my God, you guys, it is so good. There's a TikTok user. Let me try to find it really fast. Cake and Tyla or something. Oh my gosh. I don't know how in the world this girl found this, but this is hysterical. She was watching somehow, probably with a kid. I think I would assume she has a child. She's watching an episode of Clifford the Big Red Dog, and she pauses it and she says, this is literally all Blake Lively needed to do is with her 46 kids is watch this episode and it would have saved her every part of the drama here. So watch this TikTok. It's hysterical. And then we're going to move on to other topics. Yes, I talk about other things. We're going to talk about Wendy Williams and it's not the best story ever. But we will talk about other things. Trust me. Oh, actually, I have another story that is a segue from another celebrity couple, but it's a segue into Wendy Williams. Don't you worry. Here, watch this little TikTok. I think this is phenomenal.
Oh no. Sam, are you okay? I'm the director. I had everything planned out for my movie, and, well, you sort of just took over. I'm sorry, Sam. I was just trying to help. I know, but the director is the leader. You're right, I did take over. I'm sorry. And you know, Sam, I am not a very good director.
Such an easy fix. Such an easy fix. Just have a conversation. Just a little communication could go a long way. Justice for Clifford. Agree. You know who has a really, really, what seems like a healthy relationship? Because I do believe a lot of this could have gone a really healthy way had you just had a nice conversation. You know, remember when we talked about this way at the beginning when I can't even remember, it could have been last week, it could have been 18 weeks ago when all of this started about how maybe Ryan Reynolds just was a little bit like, I don't want Blake to be out of my eyesight at all times. Remember the text messages between him and Justin about the perineum? And, you know, we don't want Blake gone. How many faces can I tattoo on my perineum to get to get Blake to be with us at all times and move the schedule? I'll tattoo 475 face. By the way, this is a little bit of a left turn. I was watching Love is Blind season 8 last night. I'm still in I'm still in episode 4. I still can't tell any of them apart. Okay? I still have no idea who's who. But there was one couple who did some sort of like, what would you rather? And they said, tattoo Whoopi Goldberg's face on your ass. And all I wanted to do was, but would you do it on your perineum? Because ass is one thing, but perineum is really, that's the real would you rather. That's the real test of love. So remember when Ryan Reynolds was threatening to tattoo perineum faces on his, body? So in that moment, at that time, remember we were talking about how he has this kind of like control issue. Thank you for the super sticker, Haley. Remember how he has this control issue. And he's like, doesn't want his wife out of his eyesight. And maybe there was like a little jealousy issue. That she's having this like love scene with Justin and there's the texting and then this and then that. Well, look at this other article that just happened to pop up today about Kristen Bell revealing her secret to 11-year marriage with Dax Shepard. And I think that this is not an accident. I don't think this is an accident today. I think that this is a real, there's a point to this article. And it's to show people out there to say, look how good it could have been. Look how easy this all could have been. Kristen Bell reveals the secret to her 11-year marriage to Dax Shepard, despite their steamy scenes with other actors. I feel like this is Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard's like nice way to say, like, guys, it could have been done. You didn't have to go this hardcore. And the way that they do this is basically the 44-year-old actress opened up to E! News about how she and the 50-year-old actor feel about each other's intimate scenes with co-stars. She said, even if Dax hooks up with the most beautiful person in the world at work, I know he's committed to our family. I know he's coming home and I know he loves our children. I know he strives to be a great husband and father. She said, we're just human. So maybe there could be a day where I'm like, I'm actually really nervous that you spend time with that person. And he could say, oh, okay, let's talk about it. What makes you nervous? What are you thinking? We have very open communication. We root for each other, she explained. When he got to make out with Minka Kelly on Parenthood, I was like, yes, get it. We're married. We're not dead. Likewise, Dax was not threatened by her loved-up on-screen moments with Kristen's Nobody Wants This co-star, Adam Brody. Dax also knows there's no threat there, although I think I would be very threatened if I were Dax. I mean, do you guys remember that kiss? I would be so threatened. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Hottest kiss I've ever seen in my life. If you were to see us in person, there is no chemistry. She said, we bicker all the time. We're like an old granny and grampy. It's not hot and heavy on set at all. Shepard shared his reaction to seeing his wife lip lock with Brody while making an appearance at the New Yorker Festival last fall. He began by sharing that he watched the show, which has been renewed for a second season with a friend. We watched that scene together, the kissing scene, which I'd argue is the very best kissing scene ever put on film. He recalled, and my best friend Aaron from childhood, he goes, does she ever kiss you like that? I think honestly, this is a healthy relationship, and it's not easy to get there. I mean, to be honest, like, I think it's actually very difficult to have a relationship like that where you can just go out and make out with each other on set and like hook up. And it's not like jealousy, I think, is natural, but the communication, if you're going to choose to be an actor, Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, if you're going to choose to be an actor, you should be allowing your person to like go out and have these love scenes and have these sex scenes and have whatever and be okay with it. So if this was a portion of whatever got weird, which I'm not saying it definitely was, but I think there was a little level of Ryan Reynolds being a little bit uncomfortable with some of the stuff that was happening. I don't know if that was it, but I do think that there was a layer of this here, which is why Ryan hated Justin Baldoni so much. Now, what you said in the comments, Juanita brings up, Ryan and Blake started out cheating, and that's the thing. They didn't start in a healthy way. When you start in an unhealthy way, which is even weirder that they went to go watch Scarlett Johansson on date night. When you start in an unhealthy way, you're always going to be nervous, right? You're always going to be nervous. That does totally make sense. Like if I met Lance by both of us cheating on our partners on a movie set, every time he's on a movie set, I'm assuming he's going to cheat on me again. For sure. That's totally true. Blair, how you get him is how you lose him. That's a song, right? No, that's, you got to know when to fold 'em. Know when to hold 'em. No, I'm saying it wrong. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. That we should sing that to Blake. You got to know when to fold 'em. Know when to hold. No, I'm singing it wrong. But that's what I'm going to do. How they got you is how they'll lose you, Molly Dare, my girl. Polarize with Molly Dare. Watch her show. Subscribe to Polarize with Molly Dare. But we should sing that song to Blake. That should be her song. You got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. You got to count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. When the deal is done. I feel like that's a song that Blake Lively needs to hear in her, like, fold them, run. Unless we're this is all we have right now is to just spiral because we don't have any. I want to see the papers. I want to see the evidence. I want to see it. Trent says I'll get copyrighted. You know what? In my dreams, I'll get copyrighted because that means that YouTube gods think I am Kenny Rogers. Brad and Angelina. There you go. That's another one. It's another couple. Dax and Kristen are healthy, but who else met? Mystery Singer says, don't quit your day job. I won't. I promise. I won't. I won't. Oh my God, Anne-Marie. Wow, you can actually sing a bit. I love you, Anne-Marie. I love a bit. ChatGPT said amended complaint has been filed. Well, ChatGPT knows more than us? Oh, duh. Can someone tell me? Is it? Oh no, I have to ask you a favor. Cece is not available on live, so I need to read your lips, but the mic covers your mouth. Marsha. I feel horrible. I'm so sorry. I do that because I never wanted to miss, like, I want good sound. Is that better? I hope that's better, Marsha. Tell me if the sound is bad if I do that, though. Now I feel bad. Okay. Is that better? Okay, Donna, do you think Blake's career is officially done if she loses this trial? 1,000,000%. And even if she wins this trial, I kind of secretly think it's done. Okay, we have to move on. Oh, Leanne and Eddie Rhymes. That's a good one. So let's talk about Wendy Williams, but not before I talk about Rula. I want to remind you guys that Rula is the sponsor of today's show. And Rula is, as I pull up my Rula ad copy, which I can't make a mistake on. And of course, maybe I'll have to pause and do that in just a moment because everything is taking a long time on the computer. Did you guys hear about this crazy? This is totally like a second conversation, but did you guys hear about this crazy Gmail like hack? Not hack, but they like got into 1.5 billion emails and they're gonna get all our information. The last thing I need is for them to get my information. They're gonna find out all my emails about Blake. That's all they're gonna find out. So, okay. Rula. I'm going to tell you all about Rula. So, as you guys know, telehealth makes talking to a therapist so much easier, and it makes mental health care more convenient and accessible for millions of people. However, critical challenges like finding a suitable therapist, scheduling appointments, and the expensive out-of-pocket still keep many from getting the care that they need. Rula is on a mission to make high-quality mental health care from a licensed professional easy and affordable for everyone. Rula has got you covered. They make most major insurance plans, and the average copay is only $15 per session. You guys, only $15 per session, and you can now get the quality health care you need when you need it at a price you can afford. Rula isn't just affordable. They stick with you throughout your journey, making sure you can get the best therapy and that you're making progress. With Rula, every provider is carefully vetted and chosen for their expertise. You'll always know you're in the hands of quality providers who are dedicated to making real progress in your care. The first step on your journey to mental well-being is easy. Rula starts by asking you a few questions about what's important to you and then provides a list of licensed in-network providers who match your preferences. So you can schedule your preferred time and meet with your therapist as soon as the next day. All you have to do is go to Rula, that's RULA.com/daily dose, one word, that's DAILYDOSE, for convenient therapy that's covered by insurance. So go to Rula.com/daily dose and take the first step towards better mental health today. You deserve quality care from someone who cares. Okay. Wendy Williams. You guys, we were hoping for Wendy Williams. We were praying for Wendy Williams after her TMZ documentary, which I didn't watch. I have to admit, I didn't watch it. Did you guys watch it? I feel so bad. I didn't watch it. I wanted to, but I just didn't get around to it. It's just there's too much going on. But anyway, she was on that documentary, the 2B TMZ documentary, and she seemed like kind of together. But then she got out of her little, her unit, and she was feeling good. She was doing her thing. And then now all of a sudden she was moved to a memory unit because she went to her assisted living facility lunch and she got drunk. She drank. She had a boozy lunch, meaning she finally was let out of like 24/7 care and she drank. Meaning she actually doesn't have control over her drinking. We thought that she was sober and she was in control, but I don't believe that she is. It's saying, according to a new report on TMZ on Monday, that she had been moved to a more restricted memory unit at the facility after she allegedly got drunk at a restaurant on the premises of her assisted living facility. So Wendy had previously said she had only been allowed out of her assisted facility twice in the past 30 days for dentist appointments. TMZ had reported on the circumstances in which Wendy was allegedly moved to a more restricted part of her assisted living facility, which may have contributed to her lack of trips outside of the building. According to an employee who is described as having had many interactions with Wendy since her arrival, she initially was given a room on the building's third floor, where residents are allowed to come and go as they please. However, wait. Suki. This makes more sense. Hold on. This makes more sense. This is written so badly. This is why she was moved to the memory care facility a year ago. I thought this is written so horribly. It sounded like this was this week. Okay. Note to self, I will admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong. Written very, very poorly because it doesn't say a year ago. It's saying the reason why she was moved to her assisted living facility is because she allegedly got drunk at the restaurant on the premises. It doesn't say a year ago, but it says that the reason why she was moved is because it doesn't even say when. Early in her tenure, she had gotten drunk. Thank you for clearing this up, Suki. So this is not currently. This is a while back. This is why I like doing these lives. They're calling it assisted living. And it says things went south early on in her tenure when she went up to the restaurant and bar located on the facility's top floor for an extended lunch. According to the employee, Wendy ordered several alcoholic drinks and was noticeably drunk for a significant amount of time. The facility supervisors allegedly learned of the drunken escapade and were upset that she was served, as she had reportedly had issues with problem drinking in the past. In response to the drunken lunch, Wendy was allegedly relocated to a new room on the memory unit because many of the occupants there suffer from dementia and other memory issues. They aren't able to use the elevator on their own. The new location meant Wendy was prohibited from going up to the restaurant and drinking, though it's unclear if she's not supposed to leave the floor at all or she can venture out with someone supervising. However, there was a hiccup with the reassignment as the memory unit didn't have any open rooms. So Wendy was allegedly forced to stay in her room while employees guarded the door and prevented her from leaving. And then she finally got her own room where she has remained ever since. And then that's basically why she's in that room. That was very, very strangely written because it doesn't make it very clear at all. So now we're at least finding out that that's why she was relocated to given those kind of parameters. And it's because they believe because of her memory, she kind of wasn't able to control whether or not she was going up and drinking, etc. Understandably, I feel better. And I now know that. I thought she was let out for one time and then went and drank. And that made me very, very sad. She's also saying that her son overstepped his boundaries, but she is absolutely not breaking that bond with her son. And she's making a choice to continue to be close with him. And that is her choice. And I hope very, very strongly that he is, good to her and he's making smart decisions because that is bad news bears. And I don't like that. So I really hope that that works out for them. Guys, I'm going to talk about a little Bravo. Okay. For all 7 of you that are upset at me that I'm not talking about Bravo, I'm talking about Bravo. So get excited and get excited fast. Okay. So $1 Million Listing fans are speculating. This is not Bravo. Well, I mean, I guess it used to be on Bravo, but now he's on Netflix. Are speculating that Ryan Searhant and his wife are heading for divorce. Now, he's on Owning Manhattan, which is his new show. Do you guys like that show, by the way? I don't know. I watched it. I actually really liked his new show. I wasn't actually a big $1 million listing Manhattan person. I was a $1 million listing LA fan, and I'm sad that it doesn't look like that's coming back. But I actually was a big $1 million listing. I mean, I wasn't a big $1 million listing New York person at all. But $1 million listing New York, Ryan Searhant, it looks like their marriage is under the, it looks like they're going to split. And that is concerning a little bit, as fans are saying it looks like they've quietly split. They're usually showcasing their relationship on their Instagram, etc., but they're not showing anything. They haven't been on TikTok. They haven't been on Instagram. And people are concerned because we haven't even seen them together on during their holidays. And people are saying, what's going on? There has been some rumors on Reddit, etc., that there's some cheating going on. I don't know. Does anyone care? Does anyone feel sad about that? How about this other Bravo news about Real Housewives of New Jersey? How are we feeling about this news? Again, just rumors. There are rumors, according to insiders on Bravo, that the only Housewives of New Jersey that will come back are Dolores, Melissa, and Teresa. But Teresa is getting her own show. Did I say that right? Dolores, Teresa. I think that's it, right? Dolores, Teresa. Did I say that right? Or did I get any? I think I got that right. That's how much I care. I have to be 100% honest. I am so over New Jersey. I try really hard to keep up for you guys, but I think I'm very much over it. I don't know who started the rumor. I'm not surprised that they want to keep Teresa and Melissa in some capacity. I know that they can't be on the same show. Apparently, they're going to put Teresa on a spinoff. You guys, I think I'm over New Jersey. I'll watch it. But Danielle, I like Danielle. They're not going to bring her back. Rachel, they're not going to bring her back. I hear they're not bringing back Jen Fessler. They're not going to bring back Jackie. And they're not going to bring back, Sandwich Jersey Mike's annoying girl. Whatever her name was. What was her name? Jen. My husband's a surgeon. I can't handle her. Can't stand her. I don't know if any of this is true, and it's all rumor. Third in Bravo news, Teddi Mellencamp. Apparently, Kyle Richards has spoken about her. I will play it. I haven't watched it, but I just saw it on my phone. Apparently, Teddi Mellencamp, talk of shame, just posted it on Kyle did it an Amazon Live. I don't love that look, I'll just tell you guys what I know in a second. Let's see what Kyle said about it. I'm sure it's very vague. I hope it's very vague. But here's what Kyle said.
How is Teddi sending prayers? Thank you. Another Kayla, Amy praying for Teddi. Thank you. I really do believe in the power of prayer, and please keep her in your prayers. I will let Teddi speak to her situation when she's able to. She will. Yes, but I really, there's been so many messages of love and support, and people saying, they're praying for her, and, we're telling her that and sharing that information with her. We have been with Teddi every day, even sleeping there. We're rotating. Last night, no, one night I did, and next Jen did, slept at the hospital. She has a lot of people that love her and a great support system, thank God. And she will you know, she will tell you when she's able to, you know, what is going on. But we pass on all the messages about people reaching out and sending positive thoughts and, you know, keeping her in their prayers. And it's very appreciated. So thank you. Tori says,
That's kind of what I was thinking she was going to say as well. I was hoping that was all it was going to be, because I think that everyone has been kind of like, I'm pretty sure that everyone is just under the impression that Teddi and family is the one that is the only people that should speak on it. Other than that, like Kyle is saying is exactly what any of her friends are saying, you know, which is just sending love and prayers. And I know that Kyle spends the night there. Jen spends the night there. My best friend Valerie spends the night there. Justice, Teddy's sister, has been spending the night there, but just left town because she has kids of her own. She posted a really sweet message about her on her stories. I told you guys I saw Edwin, or I told Patreon. I talked about that on Patreon. And Edwin posted about it yesterday on his Instagram, that he brought the oldest kid, to visit her. So I think, like, you know, she's surrounded. She's got really good people in her corner and around her. And she's surrounded by really good people. Like she's just healing, you know, it's major surgery. Like you have, you know, and everyone knew that she was going into major surgery, you know, this is not like an arm surgery, right? So that's the case. So everyone is praying. I mean, everyone is like, that's the nice thing, is that it's unbelievable how nice, at least my audience has been. I have yet to see mean comments in my world about her. In other people's worlds and on other people's feeds, that is something else. And you're good. Other people have to sleep with that kind of crazy, vile thinking at night. But in my world, I've only seen positivity and prayer, and that's really great. So it's nice to see that. Okay. So that's the Bravo news. Oh, tonight will be Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And that's it tonight, right? There's nothing else that we're watching. Tomorrow is Summer House, which I can't wait. And can I just tell you, the more I watch these Craig interviews, gosh, I love that Craig man. I love Craig. I really love him. He's just a good guy. How can Paige still come up with bad things to say about this man? Meet Me in the Sky just asked, is the amended complaint out yet? And shockingly, it's still not out. Like, we can be here all day. I don't know. When will it come out? Will it ever? Okay, finally, let's talk about the Gabby Petito doc. So those of you, have any of you guys seen it yet? I got a DM from Kelly Goodman. Shout out, Kelly. She's one of my dosers. She's been around from the beginning. And she sent me a voice message. She goes, I know that you're so busy with Blake, but you need to watch this Gabby Petito documentary. And I guess it's on Netflix. I have not watched it. One of my other dosers has a family member that works at Netflix, and she told me that it's really good and everyone really likes it. But apparently this Gabby Petito documentary that just came out has really frustrated people. Doesn't mean you shouldn't watch it. You have to watch it. But apparently it's really frustrated people for Bryan's parents, because you see a side of Bryan Laundrie's parents that is very upsetting. So if you have seen it in the comments, please let me know your thoughts. I see Ray has watched it. Who else has watched it? Elodie says you just watched it. Please let me know what you guys have seen about it and what you guys have thought about it. Dr. Phil produced it. That's really interesting. So apparently Netflix fans are left devastated and angry by the documentary, which makes me want to see it. And Kelly left me a voicemail saying it is so upsetting. It's so upsetting, not because it's not a good documentary, but it's so upsetting because they were heartbroken and they were angry over the events shown, because the behavior of the killer, Brian Laundrie, his parents, and the actions by the police officers in Moab. Shout out Sister Wives. We can't escape Moab. Moab? We cannot escape Moab. It's unreal. I had no idea that this all, I didn't put it together that Christine Brown and, well, I guess she's not Brown anymore, Christine and David from Sister Wives are moving to Moab. And this happened in Moab. So someone said on X that Gabby Petito documentary was a tough watch. There's a special place in hell reserved for Brian Laundrie's parents right next to him. The Gabby Petito documentary on Netflix has me crying the entire time. That girl deserved so much better, another person added. So this is on Netflix. Social media users who watched the documentary insisted it was so hard to watch. The documentary on Gabby Petito was a really hard watch. I just feel so genuinely awful for her family. So multiple social media users trashed the police officers from the traffic stop, calling Laundrie a piece of shit. And a couple of ex-users called his family cowards. So basically what's happening in it is you find out a lot of information that I guess a lot of people did not know from what we had found. A lot of you guys, I don't know. I'm sure if you guys are into the Blake Lively stuff, maybe you were really hardcore into the Gabby Petito stuff. But Petito was reported missing in September 2021. I cannot believe it's like 3.5 years ago already. Isn't that wild how fast it was? During which Brian Laundrie was already back in Florida. He quickly became a person of interest in her disappearance, and his parents, Christopher and Roberta Laundrie, stopped cooperating with the police. Laundrie's parents reported him missing just days before Petito's remains were found in a national park later that month. During a massive manhunt for Laundrie, a forensic examiner ruled Petito's death a homicide, and he became the number one suspect in her murder. His decomposing body was found in a Florida park in October 2021. Among his possessions was a notebook that had written statements from him taking responsibility for the murder. His death was ruled a suicide, and the cause of death was a single gunshot wound to the head. The documentary discusses further details about Laundrie and Petito's abusive relationship and chilling new information. One of the details included items officers found while searching his house. And in this, FBI Special Agent Loretta Bush says, we searched Brian's house and collected potential evidence among his belongings. There was a note that Brian's mother had written to Brian, and it was titled, "Burn After Reading." The special agent revealed his mother wrote that she would help him dispose of a body and show up with a shovel and garbage bags. Petito's mother, Nicole Schmidt, realized she had forgiven Laundrie for his actions, but may never know why his parents were quiet after finding out her daughter disappeared. Joe Petito also claimed Laundrie's parents have not apologized to the family for their actions. We're never going to get that, he said, as his wife and Gabby's stepmother, Tara Petito, added, at this point, I don't want one. That's so upsetting. Patricia says, as a parent, I get where they were coming from, but still, ... Oy, oy, oy. You know what's so crazy is that I made this kind of a joke the other day when we were talking about Ride or Dies. Remember when we were talking about Ari Emanuel calling Brian, Blake and Ryan as Brian. When we were calling Blake and Ryan Ride or Dies, how my mom made a joke at my sister's wedding, like, if you bury a body, I'll help you. Or if you have a body, I'll help you bury it. Like, you make that as a joke, but then like reality, ay, ay, ay. So I will definitely watch it. I have to watch it because I want to like talk to you guys about it. And maybe I'll talk about it on Patreon this weekend, just like my actual thoughts. But if you guys watch it, let me know, on the Facebook group. Why don't you guys join the Facebook group, Daily Dose of Donna on Facebook? If you guys are on Facebook, it's a great group. We talk about so many things. That's a great place to like post links or post websites or post, articles of things that you see. And it will be a very, very interesting, conversation. We can talk about it. But this is, you know, a story that is so sad and it's so horrible. And it really is like a moral dilemma as a parent whenever you see situations like this. Like, what do you do when it's your child who is, I mean, I want to watch the documentary before I go even more deep into this. But at the end of the day, like, you want to assume that you will turn in your child for committing a crime rather than protecting your child for committing a crime. Danny also reminds, and sign up for the newsletter. Make sure to sign up for the newsletter at dailydosepod.com. All the links are there. You can sign up for everything. And soon we're going to have information for the Doser Con, which will be in August here in Los Angeles. It'll be a way for all of us to hang out and meet together and party it up. So all of the information very, very soon. Thanks for today's show. I will maybe be live later, depending on when this amended complaint comes out. If not, I guess I have to clear my schedule tomorrow, or maybe I'll show up at 1 a.m. Just kidding. I prioritize sleep. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I appreciate everyone for being here. And thank you. I will never turn you guys in if you do anything to anyone. Okay. Your secret's safe with me. Just kidding. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.